Now to Azerbaijan, where Ahmad Shahidov joins us. He's the head of the Azerbaijan Institute for Democracy and Human Rights, and he joins me now live from Baku. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. First off, I just want to get your thoughts on Azerbaijan's victory.
Yes, good morning. Greetings from Azerbaijan. So the long-running Nagorno-Karabakh conflict has reached its logical end today, and the war is over, and the requirements of international law have been met. So over the past 50 days, Azerbaijan has exercised its sovereign right to conduct successful military operations, primarily to protect its civilians and liberate its occupied territories. And 2 days ago, the strategically important city of Shusha was liberated, and the logical end of the Nagorno-Karabakh war came. A peace agreement was signed with the mediation of Russia, and the ceasefire came into force between the parties. And today's agreement is primarily aimed at establishing long-term peace in the region, and Russia was expected to play a very significant role in this conflict. I think that Turkey will also take part in future talks in these negotiations, and today's agreement was the realization of the conditions set by Azerbaijan for many years, and unfortunately Armenia ignored international law and refused to start peace talks. And finally today the government of Armenian government, Nicole Pashinyan, was forced to accept the realities. So after that, protests against the government in Armenia began, and the Armenian people are preparing to overthrow Pashinyan. I think that at the end of Pashinyan government that has ignored international law for many years and deceived the Armenian public has come, and Azerbaijan, as you know, has been a supporter of peace for the last 30 years and has worked for peace in the region and the application of international law. But unfortunately, the Armenian government continued the occupation by making false promises to international community, to international organizations, also to people. And today we have logical.
Right. I just want to take a look at a more humanitarian aspect of things. A process of having displaced Azerbaijanis is going to take place, of having them return to their homeland, and this is going to be mediated by the UN. How quickly and safely can the UN execute this process?
You know, today's agreement has a huge part of humanitarian aspects. First of all, the refugees from Azerbaijan will return to these lands, to occupied lands, to Nagorno-Karabakh, and the exchange of prisoners of war and captures from both sides will be implemented. Then, you know, there are a lot of prisoners of war in both sides. I think it's very important. At the same time, the transportation and some contacts between Nakhchivan Autonomous Republic. This is another significance of today's agreement is related to Nakhchivan. The document established the connection of Nakhchivan with the main part of Azerbaijan, and the opening of all communications and the roads, as well as the fact that a new transport and communications infrastructure can and should be created. So this agreement has humanitarian points as well regarding the returning of refugees and IDPs to their homes, exchanging of dead bodies from both sides, also exchange the prisoners of war, captures, and this kind of humanitarian issues has this ceasefire agreement, peace agreement.
Okay, Ahmad Shahidov, the head of the Azerbaijan Institute for Democracy and Human Rights, thank you so much for joining us on the program and sharing that insight with us. Well, do stay with us here on TRT World. Our coverage of the historic peace deal in Nagorno-Karabakh continues after a short break.